And now, ladies and gentlemen, the Webby-nominated podcast featuring Choey and Jandler.
Powered by Riverside FM.
Welcome, everybody, to Choey and Jandler's The Fun Time Super Terrific Happy Hour. Welcome, everybody. It's just Jandler here, as you know, still a couple more weeks before me and Choey get together, but it's right around the corner. So that's a shout out there to everybody. Here it is, February 13th, halfway through this month, right? Here are some holidays real quick on this February day. Here it is.
Here are today's effing holidays.
So here, first things first on February 13th. Today is National Desperation Day. Desperation Day is celebrated on February 13th every year. It was created by TV character Barney Stinson as a day on which singles desperately try to find a Valentine's Day date. So hashtag Desperation Day. The day of love, right? Right before, Galentine's Day and the real Valentine's Day, right? Today is also National Wingman Day. National Wingman Day is celebrated on February 13th every year. It's specifically held on the day before Valentine's Day to celebrate and support our friends, sidekicks, and true heroes who have our backs in difficult circumstances. And we will insert Wingman's song that I remember hearing on the radio a lot growing up, and it was really funny. And
this chick's rocking your bro on the dance floor, but she's towing an anchor, a junior investment banker who's talking about herself and not much more. Oh, so buy her a beer, it's the reason you're here. Mighty wingman, you're taking one for the team, so your buddy can live the dream. Wingman.
Speaking of radios, we went on to the last holiday. Today is World Radio Day. What's the radio, you may ask? Well, join in the worldwide events for World Radio Day on February 13th and find out how radio is still changing lives across the globe. It's that, it's the thing that's in your car in the middle of the dash, right? That maybe you're playing a lot more, MP3s, or not even MP3s, but, more Bluetooth music and stuff than just putting an old CD or cassette player and like it used to, or even 8-track if you want to go way, way back. But so those are the holidays today for February 13th. Now, real quick, I'm going to move over to headlines briefly.
It's time for this week's edition of Choey and Jandler's Headlines. Yay! Hooray!
Not a lot of headlines right now. Like I said, there's tons of stuff happening. I'm just saving it to get more of a natural reaction from Mr. Joseph Tribbiani himself. I will say, today I went a little late doing what I got to do, even though it's going to be out on time. On this Thursday after school, I went and watched some of my students dance, so that was always cool. It just made the day longer and getting home later. That's part of being any kind of teacher, going to see some of these events that these students do. And if Choey was here, I know it's kind of putting words in his mouth, but he has specifically told me in his admin days how he'd have to travel, to away games and stuff. So at least I didn't have to do like a couple of hours of road trip. It was just right down the hall because it was in my school. Also, last bit of headlines I will say, since this comes out on Friday, February 13th, boom, boom, boom. It's always one of those scary days, for teachers and stuff. But that being said, we're going to be moving on to another rerun. I think we got a few reruns left. It's 13th, 20th. I think after this one, there'll be 2 more rerun episodes, and then he and I will be back to start March Madness and go over everything that we've kind of missed discussing. So leading into that, also gonna lead into some new clips the next couple weeks for our next S.N.A.R.K TV episode. We're not gonna do it every month because it is tedious putting it together, but we will still have that there. And nothing else. I'm just gonna tell everyone, hey, hopefully it's starting to warm up soon for people, and that the winter time is starting to kind of move and mosey on by. It's rodeo season here in Texas, so that'll be something too we need to enjoy. And then obviously we're gonna have our new song when we come back. So, like I said, enjoy the rerun and stay tuned for the little sneak peek of a clip at the end for February's S.N.A.R.K TV episode. And other than that, peace, everybody.
In a living room, now we're on a list that feels way too official. 1 minute it's memes and bad ideas, next thing you know this got corporate and judicial. We checked the email like it was spam, thought no way this is actually true. But now we're being judged by people who literally decide what the internet do. So if this song sounds nervous, yeah, it's true. We're deeply unqualified but very into you. Coca-Cola, please hydrate us. Meta, please don't algorithm hate us. YouTube, TikTok, Audible too. We made a podcast, now we're being judged by you. Waymo, drive us to success. Combinator, invest in this mess. Activision, make us a game. PBS, tell our parents we're not ashamed. RGA got the global creativity, OpenA got the robots behaving, TikTok's got the trends we can't keep up with, and YouTube runs half a modern civilization. A famous actor from the Hateful Eight and Ant-Man 2, yeah, that's our fate. A famous social media creator runs 1111, and someone from Meta's teaching AI how to act human, while one of you's literally shaping the future. We're just hoping that our mic didn't pick up every blooper. We don't know how we got in this room, but we promise we wore our nicest. Coca-Cola, we'll take a sip. Meta, please don't shadow ban this clip. Audible, let them hear our jokes. Waymo, we trust you with our hopes. YouTube, we obey the algorithm. TikTok will dance if that's the system. OpenA, please don't flag our tone. PBS, please adopt us as your own. We used to celebrate 5 downloads. Now we're up against the people who run the entire internet. One of you literally leads AI policy, and we once argued for 10 minutes about a sandwich. So if this song is unhinged, that's just our brand. We're extremely grateful and deeply out of our depth. Coca-Cola, Meta, Waymo, TikTok trends we don't even know. Activision, YouTube, Audible, Y Combinator said this is plausible. OpenAI, please be kind. Famous actor, please don't mind. PBS, tell the world we tried. We made a podcast and somehow survived. Honestly, we're just happy to be here if you're listening to this as a judge. Thank you for not skipping ahead. That alone feels like a win.
Powered by Riverside FM.
All right, welcome everybody to Choey and Jandler's the fun time, super terrific happy hour. Welcome, Choey.
Welcome, Jandler. I like how you make it sound all enthusiastic. Welcome to you.
Yeah, I was like, hey, and now on to
You're
you.
super excited, and then your turn.
I'm trying to. I don't want to be yelling the whole time. I'm trying to bring my energy down. I use it all in. Get it all out of my system. All right. Before we do the holidays, would you like to share congrats? Because I think you know more about it than I do.
This goes out to Bossman, one of our former guests. Hopefully, we'll get him on soon again. He has expressed interest in coming back on the podcast. But congratulations to the Bossman. He was recently elected and sworn into the school board position. So I'm hoping he can do some good change.
Yeah, that sounds awesome for me. A little cheer sound here. Well, hopefully that came through. If not, I'll turn it up or whatever in post. But yeah, congrats. Choey could have gone to the swear-in, but he showed up late. Just so everybody knows. Just kidding, man.
I was 20 feet away from walking in the door, and I got the message. It's already over.
You're like,
Oh,
oh, never mind.
like,
But
I
you
guess I
texted him,
don't
right?
need to go.
But you sent him a text, right? You're like,
I actually didn't.
did you?
Now that, like, as you're saying that, I was like, dude, I could probably send him a text congratulating.
No.
But I sent him a
Now you're like,
congratulatory
you should give
text
it.
whenever he got elected. So.
You should get him a singing telegram, like on Ferris Bueller. But
No, better yet was one of the singing telegrams like that from Friends or the Ross.
oh yeah.
Congratulations from one of your voting constituents. It's good to have constituents. Congratulations.
Anyway, move on to the holidays, sir.
Here are today's effing holidays.
See, I'm back to being that thing where I don't hear the sound. Did you hear it?
It came through, yes.
Yeah, and then sometimes it'll come through for us here, but then it doesn't come through on iMovie, and I have to like add it back in. It's just weird. All right, so headline. Oh, sorry, I was about to jump into headlines. So holidays this week. First off, today is on November 21st, World Hello Day. Join in on World Hello Day and spread a little kindness. Say hello to your friends, family, colleagues, and even strangers, or just play them the nice Choey and Jandler Cheers Around the World song, But hello, everybody. It's
Hi.
also hi, yo, hey. Today is also National Gingerbread Cookie Day. Celebrate National Gingerbread Cookie Day with a sweet treat. Bake up some delicious cookies to share with friends and family. Do you like? I love gingerbread. You like gingerbread?
I do. Like gingerbread is like it's not like one of my top favorites because I feel like you can eat too much of it to where it kind of gets you wear out. Whereas like chocolate chip
Yeah,
cookies, I don't think I could ever
yeah,
wear out a chocolate chip. But gingerbread is a very good treat, honestly.
yeah. You know what? You bring up an interesting point. I think gingerbread is to me is like candy corn. It's good in moderation. I like it, but I'm not eating it like every day.
Yeah.
So this is a holiday today that did not make the cut. Just so you know, today is World Vasectomy Day. Wah, 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 ouch.
You realize like by you saying it didn't make the cut, but still announcing it make the cut. That's interesting.
Well, we're not celebrating. I'm just saying. I'm not going to read anything else on that other than to say it's World Vasectomy Day.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, people. Sorry, pups. Sorry, dogs. Maybe that's why that one dog you have is fat and he gives you that look. It's like, I got nothing better to do than to eat. All right, moving on to the headlines, sir.
It's time for this week's edition of Choey and Jandler's headlines. Yay! Hooray!
But is he really happy, or could he be happier? That's the existential
I
question,
don't know.
right?
I mean, he licks certain parts of his body as if he's okay with himself. So I guess he's happy.
Yeah, you're like, that inch is clean. Leave it alone. All right.
You're cleaning it too much. It's gonna go off.
Yeah, that thing makes me think of something else. So I'm not gonna say it now. I'll say it off recording. So hey, just like a little follow up. When I was saying last week, my schools had some stuff happening, right? So I'll just give like the facts, right? They found a magazine at school, and I think I explained to you, and I thought initially thought it was like a Playboy magazine. Then I come to find out it was an ammo magazine. It only had 4 bullets in it. It was in the first grade bathroom. They found nothing else. There was like no threat or whatever made to anybody. So like they did an investigation. Everything is cool, right? But it kind of created a hubbub, or how do you say, like a hullabaloo, whatever. I can't think of the word, right? But it created some issues.
I think hullabaloo because I think hubbub is the gum, right? Or hubba
Yeah,
bubba.
I think I meant like hubbub or whatever. I don't know. But brouhaha, I guess another good. That's one I was thinking of. But it created like a brouhaha because this happened on Veterans Day celebration. Right? We actually apparently had a PTO meeting that night. And parents and then the message got sent out by the security people at our district. But it came with it was like her signature. So all these parents thought she was sending stuff out. and they kind of thought she was covering stuff up and what like it. So it just created like a mess. And then quite a few parents kept their kids home the following day, and some have even kind of like checked them out of our school. But like I said, we didn't do anything wrong. It was safe. Some parent, I got lucky that nobody asked me what was going on because I would have even known. I didn't even know anything happened until after school, man. Like I would have been like, if a parent asked me like, what did they find in the bathroom? I'd be like, what are you talking about? So like I was in the blue or in the dark, I should say. So
So some
like
parents like withdrew the kids from school, like unenrolled them.
yeah, and moved them to like another school or homeschool or whatever. But
Wow.
yeah, it's like we did and one of the things that was said is like we did everything in accordance with the policy. And all these parents apparently were like chewing out our two VPs and the principal, and apparently like cussing them out because they wanted the name of the student who brought the bullets, right? Well, that's not something they can give out, and I totally agree with that. Like you don't give that stuff out. It's a little kid. But so they got like really irate, really upset about that. But just want to say, that was what was going on last week. Things are a lot better. We're doing our fire drills and all sorts of stuff. I mean, they're like adding new things to the doors, trying to like more safety precautions and stuff. But it's just crazy, man. I will tell you this. I told you on the phone. I talked to my stepmom that day, and I was just like, man, you and my dad, pops. So like, y'all retired at the right time because we're dealing with some crazy stuff, right? Just crazy stuff, and it's like I think what's even crazier is this: what stuff happens at school is kind of become the norm, like having to diffuse a lot of not situations like that, but just a lot of like behaviors that you'd be like, oh my god, they deal with this on a daily basis, and it's like, yes, we do, yes, we do.
Like school safety is not a joke. Like, so I'm not like trying to downplay with any of these comments, but like for those parents that like withdrew the kids completely, like that's a lot of naivety like on their part. Because you think about this, and it's a very unsettling thought, but it's the truth. How often do things like that go to school that don't get found because like either somebody doesn't leave them or
Mm-hmm.
doesn't take them out of their bed? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not naive. Whenever I was at a campus, we knew like there were drugs on campus at certain times, more than likely, or potentially like some sort of weapon, maybe not a gun, but like a knife that we didn't like came and went, and we didn't know because nobody noticed it, nobody snitched on them essentially. Because there was
Well,
I caught it in middle school one time, and he had a knife, and it was in his backpack because he used his backpack on the weekends, and his parents he went hunting with his dad, and so he had left the knife in a pouch. And the only reason knew about it is because when he was getting a pencil out, another kid happened to see it in his backpack. He told the teacher,
oh
and the
man,
teacher reported it.
yeah.
And so
Well, I
like
mean, like we had a good meeting the next day, and they were telling us stuff that we should do. I'm sorry, but dude, I cut you off, man. Finish it.
well, no, so it was just like when I was like, it was an honest mistake on the student's part. Like he didn't mean to do it. Like we had to do something about it. To like, good thing it wasn't like something crazy as far as consequence. But it's one of those like, how often do things like that come, but where somebody doesn't see it, and
Yeah.
therefore nobody reacts?
Well, like I told you, we have a school marshal like at all the schools in my district. So
Yeah.
that's the guy. Like that's his responsibility. So he found it pretty quick. Apparently, they were able to track down and figure out who the student was within like 10 minutes or less. So they quickly identified who it was and went from there. But so I mean, like just like I said, yeah. Positive note, nothing serious happened, and we're moving on. But I will tell you this, moving on to my next headline, it kind of goes in conjunction. We had a meeting the following day, and one of the head safety guys for the district came, and he was answering questions and telling us about stuff, right? And as we're leaving, one of my teacher friends, who I do want to get guested, she says she wants to guest on here. I need to talk with her and talk with you. It's kind of one of those things where, and Hooks wants to come back too, and Bossman, we got to like figure out like when it's jiving with everybody, right?
Yeah.
But anyways, we're walking out to the parking lot. This teacher friend was like, "Hey, I'm sorry I brought you to this craziness," you know. And she was at my last school with me. I was like, this is nothing compared to my last school. And there was a third teacher there. She was like, "What?" And I was like, "Yeah, this is still better than my last school." I was like, I dealt with a lot of craziness there. Here's a story that's funny. It's one of those stories that's funny now, but it wasn't funny when it happened. One of the teachers, another teacher that I worked with at the school, like we'll call her Claire, even though that's not her name, right?
She did third grade with me, and then she did second grade with me. But I think the year before she was third grade, and my ex principal at the last school used to like really micromanage to a point, right? And it caused a lot of stress for certain teachers. And Claire, quote unquote Claire, was one of those teachers, and she had some pretty bad health scares to the point where I think she had she had to get like her husband had to come take her to the hospital. I think she had to get stretchered. I can't remember if she had like a stroke or like a minor stroke or something. But anyway, she's kind of like she's being escorted out. And I can't remember if this is when the ambulance had to come or when her husband did. But if she's kind of being taken to the hospital because she's not in great condition, our principal yells out, "Hey, remember grades are due." This shows how lack of compassionate she was. It's like, hey, make sure your grade book's good to go as she's like being taken to the like. It's just like imagine she runs to her, she's on the gurney, and she's like, hey, don't put the sheet on him yet, nurse. She still owes me grade book, and it's just crazy.
Revive that teacher. Bring him back.
Yeah,
resuscitate. We got grades to put in. I don't want to do it.
Clear. Get the paddles out. It's like clear, but it's like that's the crazy stuff I dealt with there. So, this is a little different. Hey, speaking of, and you know me, I jump around a lot. When I talked to my stepmom, she was telling me about a teacher that we may have known at Bernie. I didn't recognize the name, but he retired, and he was telling her that like it's gotten real bad there. And you know that it's a different level in Bernie because you got like a lot of parents that are what we call like hot parents, I guess. You know, like they're really in tune. Yeah, like they're really hyper like sensitive to what their kids are doing grade wise, and so they're like like they're overdoing it. So, or at least so that's going on there. When so there's always those plus minuses, right? But my last headline is obviously on a lighter note, right? And then I'll take anything you might have. These kids, I'm pretty sure I said this one of the previous seasons, right? This is season 4, so. These kids with water bottles, it's amazing how they drop it and water just goes everywhere, right? So, got a good reminder from one of my teachers that I work with now, and I was doing this last year, but I kind of forgot. And so I tell my kids to come in or when they come in, put it on the shelf, right? You're not gonna leave it at your desk. You're not gonna leave it on the floor. Put it on the shelf. You'll get water when you need it. But anyway, last week, shortly after I think it was the day our show released last week. 2 kids in the morning just kind of bumped into each other. One of them dropped their water bottle, a nice big Stanley or whatever, right? And as soon as it dropped, the lid immediately popped off. And water, like the thing was full, man. So water went all over the hallway to the point, like I had to buzz the office and I was like, hey, when you get a chance, can I get a custodian? I set 3 chairs up in the hallway and I still probably could have put more in there. But I had to keep what I thought was funny is I kept telling kids, walk around. And kids kept walking through the water. And I'm just like, you guys, like you see these obstacles there. It's like they're trying to get themselves hurt, man.
I thought it was a challenge. Can you navigate?
Yes. Some smart kid decided to step on the chair. And, like I don't tell them constantly, don't do that. It's amazing. Sometimes these kids don't get hurt a lot,
Should have kicked that chair and be like, oh, wonder how that happened.
Oops. Yeah. Oops. But so yeah, I caught that. And then hey, one last thing, I just thought of it. Give me the hurt alert sound one more time.
Hurt alert.
So this is like a frequent flyer for me. I always tell you. I remember I told you that one time this kid hurt his shoulder and he couldn't stand up and walk because he landed on his arm. And I was like, this kid was rolling around in agony today, holding his ear. Told me it was an earache. Couldn't walk. He's like, acting like he couldn't walk. Like he's dizzy or whatever, right? So make me think it was like serious. So I sent him to the nurse. Comes back with an ice pack. I see the nurse at the end of the day. I was like, hey, how was so-and-so? She's like, oh, he's fine. He just said his ear hurt. And I was like, he complained and whined that his ear was aching and he was like rolling around on the ground like somebody shot him. And she was like, no, it was just an earache. It's just a little bit red. And he apparently was twisting it in front of her, making it even more red, So this drama guy,
He knows what the visible signs are in order to get it. What he needs.
Yeah. If he watched Ferris Bueller, puts his thermometer under the light. I got
I tried that.
120-degree fever. I'm gonna
Tried
die,
that one.
Mr. Bing.
Yeah, I tried that one time. My fever was like 113, and my parents were like, I was like, I'm hot. They're like, yeah, okay.
They're like, let's take you to the hospital now. Clear. You know, it would have been funny. Like, well, Choey, sorry to have to say this. 113-degree fever. I don't think you're gonna make it. Who do you want us to give your toys to? Which your brother? Who's gonna be in your room when you pass away? Oh, okay. So they should reverse psychology you.
They kind of did, because they told me that the only medicine I'd be able to take would have been a suppository. When I asked and they explained what that was, I was like, nope.
You're like, you would have surprised them. You're like, do it. They're like, really?
You're bluffing. Go for it.
You got any headlines, sir?
No.
No.
Not that I can think of that.
You're like, not to follow that one up, right? All right, I'm gonna end it right
follow
here.
a proctology reference.
Yeah, I'm gonna send it to the break right here. It's the end of the first part of the show. Is that cool?
Yeah.
All right, so I hit stop with the.
We say prost, Gumby, cheers mate, and cheers mate again, or simply cheers. Sometimes it's all toss Santa, other times it's cheers you effing hoser, you effing hoser. We also say sawday, salute saluti, or tagay, skull. Let's all say Nazdarovia in the Russian way. In Vietnam we shout out yo, Walugi Wawa makes South Africa glow. In Portugal it's a solid soul. In Budmo, Ukraine's here to stay. In Thailand we clink and shout out Sean. Then back to the bar till the liquor's gone. For Jamaica it's allowed you mourn. No matter the place we drink till dawn. In India we say cheers or body hole. Hungary says he just did it, don't go too slow. New Caledonia joins in with a la boat, let it flow. In Taiwan we shout out Ganbei. And Singapore says Yam Sing all the way. Cheers, cheers around the world.
Do a little lighter in the sky.
I like how you raised the roof there, right?
Hey, so I got.
Hi there, I'm here to help Choey and Jandler to read an advertisement for BuyBlacket.com. Please shop BuyBlacket.com. Are you looking for unique gifts at unbeatable prices? Then look no further. BuyBlacket.com has quality merchandise for everyone on your list, from gifts for cat and dog lovers, to American fans, beer enthusiasts, and even Jesus lovers. As for teachers, we didn't forget about you. Please don't miss our funny attire to brighten up your classroom. So bring a smile to your loved ones' faces and shop BuyBlacket.com today. Tell them Choey and Jandler sent you.
Hi there, Ryan Reynolds here on behalf of my friends Choey and Jandler. You may know me from movies where I either save the world or ruin Thanksgiving. But today, folks, I'm not here to sell you cologne, crypto, or questionable NFTs. I'm actually here to tell you about Fish.audio. This isn't really me talking right now. This is my voice, made by Fish.audio, which frankly is terrifying. It sounds exactly like me, and trust me, I've heard my voice in 87 trailers. This is better. Whether you're a podcaster with a potato microphone, a game developer building an army of space dolphins, or just lonely and want a perfect Morgan Freeman to read your grocery list out loud to you, Fish.audio has you covered. Fish.audio is easily one of the best voice generation platforms I have ever used, which is saying something, because I've done voiceover for a toothpaste brand in 4 languages I don't even speak. And speaking of that, Fish.audio is cross-lingual, which means it supports 13 different languages. Their amazing program also allows you to clone voices. Fish.audio make your voice legendary, or at least make my voice say weird things. I legally can't stop you either way.
All right, back from break, Joe. Hey, next week I'm gonna start playing the holiday song. I've sent it to you along with one of my new couple renditions. What are your thoughts so far on the holiday tune? Do you like it?
Love the holiday one. I really, like I was texting you earlier, That the new one with Finland,
Uh-huh.
like it just inspired me on the way to work though, man. Like I was like I could see it. I could have honestly sent you a text like 15 times longer. Like I was like, man, I already got like scenes worked out for a movie.
Dude, that's good. I like the scene. So I emailed you some ideas, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like the ideas that I emailed you, you could like put together. You know what I mean? It's not like, hey, these are like ideas that could be like what the movie's mainly about, but it's like we could take bits and pieces and just put them together. So having ideas for scenes makes life a lot better, a lot easier. But no, I also sent my friend, she had guest starred, I think it was like season 1 or whatever. One of the times when you got busy way back in season 1, I called her Jessica Rabbit, right?
Yeah.
And so I texted her a couple of the holiday song, and then I think I sent you one of the other ones. It's kind of like a little mix, little mesh of country rock or whatever. And I love the song, but I told her it's one of those ones where I feel they get more incoherent as the song gets longer, right? And I'm just like, we've joked where it's like sound like they're drunk because they've been drinking all around the world. And she was like, really? She's like, I didn't hear that at all. I was like, how do you not understand? I told her, I was like, I texted her, like, I've made hundreds of these songs with these lyrics. So it's really easy for me now. My ear is tuned to be like, that's not what it's supposed to sound like. And like, and I'll go back and replay it. Like, yeah, like, oh, yeah, they messed up here.
You're
So,
like a music producer. You're like,
but,
no, no, let's run that one back.
yeah, take 500. Nope, that's not a good enough reaction or whatever. But all
Oh,
right, man. So
what,
here's the
what
second
trips me
half.
out?
I'm sorry.
What trips me out? Real quick before we go, like, what trips me out though is like you send me these songs and it sounds like it bothers me that AI can do it so well like that because I'm like, God, man, like, because it sounds like a real person. It's not like when you get like the automated voice. It's like, thank you for calling USAA.
Yeah.
Press 1. And it's not like that. So it's like, God, that's natural. Like, at what point are we gonna have just like computer generated all sorts of entertainment? Like, why pay an artist when you could just generate 10 songs for an album in like 2 minutes?
Yeah. And I had a friend of mine told me a couple years ago before I even stumbled across Suno and stuff, the AI was gonna like replace movies, and I was just kind of like, why? I was like, why would you want? He was kind of telling me, he's like, you could have an AI like do Tom Hanks or whatever, and I was like, yeah, I know, but they can't do Tom Hanks like Tom Hanks can do Tom Hanks. I was like, why not just have Tom Hanks do it? But you know what's gonna trip you out even more about those songs? Not only how realistic they sound, but dude, it is like less than a minute they pop out a song. And dude, it's like honestly, it's less than 20
It's
seconds.
just crazy.
Yeah. But all right, man. So first off, I was thinking about or not thinking about, I started a Patreon account for us, and I was posting for every new country we get, Choey's gonna get a tattoo of your flag on his body somewhere, right? Get, I get
It's like, do I get to pick where I get to put it?
it's all over your chest, right? All over your neck.
Like this looks like a Cadillac almost.
Yeah, it's like or like a NASCAR,
There you
like
go.
sponsorship. But I do have to come clean and be like, I miscounted with you last episode. It's 36 countries, 35 plus the US. I don't know where I added 2 from. And I feel really bad because I'm a math teacher. I was like, oops.
That's
So
still a lot of tattoos though.
oh, it is. It is. It's still coming. But I realized, we got Denmark, we got Sweden, we got Finland, we got Norway. That's the whole Scandinavia Viking country from way back when. So we got one little area that we can say that's all ours.
Not that I would do it, but it'd be it'd be like a fun little like fill in the map. Like as you get it, like you color the next country or whatever.
Yeah.
But I would do it. That's like have the globe on my back or something like that, and just color them in as we go.
I do want to. I'm gonna get something around my leg, like globe wise, because of my Navy time. But I'm not gonna get all those flags. I mean, that's a lot. That'd take up like a whole leg. If you just did even little flags would like take up a whole leg.
So hey, we lost this country, so I guess you have to get that one removed.
And you're like, oh. All right. So first, I'm gonna start off here with a little story time, courtesy of Jandler Bing. Okay. And I want you to jump into your time machine and go way back to Monday, Joseph. Yeah, long trip, right? We had a fire drill. No, hold up. I need to start this story. By the way, this is already starting like Jandler time, bouncing back and forth. We have a class hamster. Have I mentioned that? Because I don't know if I've told you that.
I think you said you were going to get it.
Yeah, so I always get a class hamster. We have a class hamster. They named him Oreo. Yeah, I told you because one of the names that someone that was suggesting was Blackie. And I was just like, I got like, a couple of kids that are African American in my class. And so I did my best to try and make sure that one didn't make it past the first round, because I was like, that sounds a little offensive, But anyway, anytime there's a drill, a fire drill, we always get the hamster, right? So I'm grabbing the hamster because, we're not going to leave the hamster in the fire, especially when it's really easy for us to grab. Now, it always creates a little bit of a kerfuffle because all these kids, they get distracted by the hamster. Like, ooh, it's so cute, right? Because you pick up the hamster cage, the hamster's moving around, so he wakes up. We wake him up, right? Well, it just so happened we're doing the fire drill, and we always have to go up this hill to get away from the school. That's our position. And the bottom part of the cage just came out, just dropped, right?
Cool.
And so like the hamster and everything, like he falls on the ground. Luckily, this hamster isn't one. He's one of my more docile ones. He doesn't like to run away, but like I'm trying to. It took me a while to get him, just because not that he was running around. I just he wouldn't let me grab him, and he'd go 2 inches or whatever, and he's kind of squealing when I grabbed him. But I'm trying to get the kids up the hill, right? Trying to check in through Raptor Alert to let them know that we're accounted for, and I'm also trying to get the hamster cage back on, all at the same time. It was utter chaos, and teachers are like, "Hey, Mr. Bing, do you need help?" And I was like, "Yeah." And so I was like, one of them, she's like, "Hey, I'll log you into Raptor real quick." And I was like, "Okay," but it was taking her a lot longer to find me. I was like, you know what? I got the cage on enough. I was actually holding it like a football under my left arm. It wasn't completely attached, but at least he couldn't get loose. And then I was doing it with my right hand. But it was just like if the whole Murphy's Law thing. What can happen? What can go wrong will go wrong, man.
You know what I like about the story?
What?
Is the fact that during the first part of the our episode, you saw hullabaloo or whatever, and then you said you're welcome. It's like the one where Jandler goes forward in time to be an old man.
Yeah, exactly.
Kerfuffle.
Yeah, kerfuffle. Now I'm trying to think of the other word I said at the beginning of the episode where I finally like, oh, that's what I wanted.
It was like hullabaloo. You said like hubba.
Yeah, but I said hullabaloo, but there was something else I was actually thinking of, and then I finally realized it, and I was like, oh, that's what I wanted. But yeah, you're right.
Whippersnappers.
Yeah. Dude, see, now you're sidetracked me. I'm gonna come back to that in a minute because I have a reply to the whippersnapper one. But no, when the hamster, when the cage initially bottomed out, there's so many kids ran up. I was like, go, get away, I got this. I got it. Go back in line, go do what you're supposed to be doing. Don't worry about this. But no, so you said whippersnapper, and I know I've told you this before, and I bet we've even mentioned about it on episodes before. But you always like to joke that we're old, right? Yeah. I mean, we're older. I don't think we're old, but I didn't start feeling quote unquote old until I started saying, back in my day, or when I was your age, right? And so I'll say it now, but every time I say it, I'm always like, damn it, I'm like that now. I wonder if when we were back, if we were this age or the age now, like the kids were and adults then were saying what we're saying now, if that same thought went through their head where they're like, oh man, I just crossed that threshold, I
wonder. Yeah, because I just remember they're like, when you get to be my age, it's like, whatever. But
yeah.
I'm like, oh, look, when you get to be my age.
I say when let me get on my soapbox real quick, and they're like, what? And I was like, I haven't told the kids this. I just told friends of mine. I'm at the age, I don't know if you are, where I'm making those sounds when you sit down and get up, you know, where you're like, ah, you're like, yeah, that's, anyway. So that yeah, that's story time there with Jandler Bing and Choey. Nice little, what would you call it? Little PS, little excerpt, little, epilogue, as they call it in the book titles, post credit scene. Now I'm gonna move on to a little wine and cheese corner. It's been a while since I've done some wine and cheese corner, so
She was.
it has. I always like to be classified over here, or classified, dignified, classy. That's Jandler meshing words. I know I've talked about. There's another side story. Again, I don't think you said you've ever watched Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and it was a great show, dude. But one of the things they like to do, one of those gags, is they like take words and they like blend them together. Like bingo and jackpot, they combined it and it's bing pot, right? Or,
I don't even know why I laughed at that. That was stupid. But okay.
No, but it's stupid, but it's still funny when they're like bing pot, or they're like they did snacks in an accident. And they're like, it's a snacksident, or so it's just a made up word. So I didn't mean to say classified, but I did mean to not be classy. I wanted to be a little bit extra, and clearly I screwed it up. So, but on this edition of Jandler and Choey's Wine and Cheese Corner, hearing a kid yell out or whine, I want my free time. And when I say yell out, Choey, I mean yell out. So we have kids that are on autism spectrum. We have a token board, incentives kids work towards. And I think I've explained I handle these kids a little bit different. I'm not saying I'm mean. I'm just firm with them, Like I just don't let them just do whatever. And so yesterday he was working towards his computer time in reading class. He didn't do any work. He just goofed around. So when he tried to get on the computer, the teacher didn't allow him. And he started getting upset. And apparently then that was right near the end of that class. So we were rotating. He was going to go from reading to science and social studies. And he was already in the hallway because apparently he got mad. He was kind of like, I don't know, picking up stuff or maybe looked like he was going to throw things. So they had like one of the spec ed people kind of come down and help with behavior. So he's in the hallway. And now we're rotating. And then he just loses his shiitake mushrooms, dude. And he's screaming outside my door, right? Trying to get into the other class, and the doors are locked, so you can't get in. So he's just screaming. There's like, I don't know how many adults there are, but it's so loud. One of my other autistic students, she starts about losing her stuff because of the noise, right? And so luckily at that time of the day, one of my collab partners was in there. So I was like, hey, you want to take her for a walk? And she was about to, and then one of the other adults in the hallway was like, I'll take her for a lap, because I'll take her for a lap around the school to help her kind of calm down. But that's how that kid was just freaking out, right? And he's just screaming like, I want my free time. And it was so loud. I'm trying to teach over it, and kids in my class are like, I think it's so and so. They're like trying to figure out who it was, and I was like, ignore it. And they're like, we can't. And literally, dude, you couldn't ignore it. It was so loud. But I was still like, I know, but I'm still trying to block it out, boys and girls. You don't have to focus on it or whatever. But so it was crazy, And then anyway, today, that same kid this morning, he has math with me in the morning. He started to almost lose it, right? And he'd been working with me very well. He had one question to do. My collab partner came in. I was like, hey, you this group you go work with Miss So-and-so. I want to work with some other students, right? And I start to hear him get frustrated and start about to be screaming. And so I walked away from my group and like, hey, I want you to try this problem. I'll be right back. And I go over there with him, and like I said, I just leaned down with him and he's screaming. And I was like, what do you got? I was like, you know what you have to do first. What do we have to do to get on your free time? He's like, I want my computer time. And I was like, I heard you. Stop screaming at me. And I'm talking to him this level. You know what I mean? Like I'm this voice level. I was like, stop screaming. You know what you need to do. What do you need to do? And then he's like, I gotta do my work. And I was like, yes, you gotta do your work. I told Miss, I don't want to mention her name, and I haven't thought of a name up for her, whatever, right? But I told Miss so and so, my collab partner, I was like, I told him earlier, I was like, he already did one question. With me, he was working really well. All he had to do was do one question with you, and he gets his time. And she's like, yeah, you told me that, Mr. Bing. And look, he did half the question. We're doing 2-part multiplying today and 2-part dividing, like 2-step questions. Yeah. So she's like, he did one step. I was gonna do a step 2, and step 2 was a lot easier. I was like, dude, you're so close, man. But like, I calmed him down, but it's just kind of, like I said yesterday. Oh my gosh, it was one of those moments where you're like, you wish. Like I had one of the instructional coaches walked in about 5 minutes later. They pop in to kind of like do observations, and I was like, I wish you'd have been here about 5 minutes ago so you could have heard everything we have to deal with, But that's the life of a 3rd grade collab teacher, there, sir.
Sounds
having
fun.
to try and calm down kids when they're screaming because they're not getting their way.
Like, you want your computer? Snap it in half over your knee. There you go.
You want your computer now?
And then just stare at him and do the little 2 fingers on your eyes, 2 fingers in his. Like, I'm watching.
Looking right at you, kid. I love how every story your replies or your rebuttals, I should say, are nothing that what Dr. Cho would do.
Well, no, because I'm not in that right now. I'm not in that mode. I'm in the let's have fun time terrific happy hour.
Yeah, you're like every time stuff like that happens, I always think about you. Well, I think it was you, the one of the first one that coined it to me. This is a customer service business now, like education.
Yeah.
Where especially as a admin, you got to like really massage egos and feelings, especially of parents. So
yeah.
Because
otherwise you get to deal with stuff like you shared earlier in the episode with the whole magazine thing, and people like wanting to withdraw their kids, and it's like, what if that kid hadn't left it in the restroom in the first place? We wouldn't even know it was there. You wouldn't be freaking. You just gotta be able to schmooze.
Yeah. I mean, I'm nearly as good as you. I got chewed out earlier this year by one parent, and because she told me that I was making stuff up, that her son had never put hands on any kid, and I was like, ma'am, I totally respect your opinion, but the problem is I saw him do it with my own eyes, and other teachers have seen him do it. So I mean, I'm not making it up. I was like, you're definitely entitled to what you want to believe, but this is true. I'm spitting out facts, But all right, and moving on over to our social media plugs, sir. So feel free, Choey and everybody else, listener land, as he likes to say, to look us up on the X, not Twitter, the X, and TikTok at Choey and Jan, CHOEY, the letter N, JAN. We are also on Threads and Instagram at Choey and Jan 2, CHOEY, the letter N, JANTOO. Facebook's Jandler Bing. Again, I always like to apologize to you because I didn't think about it when I named it to be like Choey and Jan. It just automatically created the name. And then YouTube. I know you don't believe me, but I didn't create this either, this handle. But we're at Jandler Bing 969. The 69 was for you, but I didn't do it on purpose. Yeah. You're a holla back. All right.
9 times.
Yeah, 9 times. All right. Anything you want to add before we pull the plug, sir?
I'm good, sir. We can yank it.
He's like thinking. I don't know if you're hearing that. I'll have to add it in post. But I'm like, oh, I forgot to hit record. Oops. Do it again.
Get ready for the Sketch Network for absurd and ridiculous knuckleheads. Or S.N.A.R.K TV. It's
TV.
Valentine's Day, don't let VD catch you off guard. Whether you saw it coming or it's a total surprise, we've got everything you need to handle VD like a pro. Wow, I thought VD was going to be a total disaster. Better safe than sorry when it comes to VD. Don't worry, we've got you covered with all the essentials: flowers, chocolates, jewelry, and even last-minute apology gifts for those unexpected VD flare-ups. Whether it's your first time or you're a seasoned pro, handling VD has never been easier. VD Warehouse. Don't get caught unprepared. Come on down to VD Warehouse today because nobody wants to be empty-handed when VD hits. VD may cause symptoms such as excessive romance, spontaneous gift-giving, and uncontrollable hugging. Consult your wallet before purchasing. VD Warehouse. Please remember us for all of your VD needs. We are here to make Valentine's Day easy for everybody. VD Warehouse. Love handled.
Oh, me. This is false advertising.